Jody, what could this Saturday tell us about your side? Obviously, Leyton Orient, top of the league. What can we expect? And as I say, what sort of test will this be?
Well, it's going to be a huge test, not only from the perspective of, for me, they're the best team in the league. They play the best football, got a good manager, some real good players. It's the fact that we're going there real thin on the ground with injuries. Obviously, from a defensive aspect, we're lacking bodies, and we haven't managed to kind of get bodies through the door. And obviously, when you're picking up injuries off the back of that, going in to play the best team in the league, it's not the ideal prep, but we'll have to try and come up with something that can try and withstand their attack, because they're a real good attacking side and play some good football. So it's going to be a huge test, and just one that you wouldn't have mind going into with a full strength team.
And with that in mind, is this a game where obviously you're hoping for a good performance, but really hoping that players can give you that extra oomph as well, as it were?
Yeah, I mean, however we set up, we literally have no idea at the minute, because we're not sure how many players we've got. However we set up, you need to obviously try and nullify the attacking threat of any team that you're playing against. But obviously, when you're going up against the level of team that Leyton Orient is, they're more than likely to cause you more problems than most. But yeah, however it is that we are set up when we're going up against them, is that we want to try and navigate ourselves through the game, if you like. So we're not giving up as many chances as we have been doing prior to the last game, and hopefully trying to set ourselves up that we give ourselves the best chance with the ball. And obviously then we'll have to rely on our play on it, which again will have to be of the highest level to penetrate and cause Leyton Orient problems.
Scoring goals is something that they do quite regularly, and those goals seem to come from all over the pitch. A lot of threats. How do you counteract that? Because a lot of teams have threats in certain areas, but there seem to be quite a few for Leyton Orient. How do you go about sort of combating that?
Well, I mean, for starters, you've got to defend well throughout the pitch, and that starts with your strikers. You've got to try and stop any service that any of these attacking threats can get. But they've got different ways in which they can hurt you. They can go quite direct. They've got some players that can pick out passes and hit some more longer balls into some dangerous areas, and then they've got ways in which that they can move opposition teams about and build their way into the game. So, like I said, it's going to be difficult, and not only that, you're looking at a team that I don't think they've lost at home since October the 1st or something. So they're a real dangerous team at home and hard to break down, and obviously their position in the league shows that. But it's one that I want our players to embrace, and like I said, try and continue to do the right things regardless of how we're set up, or how many players are playing out position, or how many players are not particularly 100% fit to play full games. We've got to try and embrace it and embrace the challenge and see where we end up.
And how much of a test of character will this be, given the players that are missing for you at the moment? But if you were to go there and get a result, just how much of a boost could that be? Because you are going to call for character from your players, but to go there in the circumstances that we're currently in, a win could do wonders.
Yeah, obviously any win at the moment is going to get the lads feeling how they would prefer to be feeling. But at the same time, listen, I think the beauty of the English leagues is that anybody can beat anybody. At any given time, we've even seen results last night that are throwing up a few surprises, and I've seen that even since the small time that I've been in and around League Two. So it's one that challenges that we need to try and embrace. And like I said, if you can go there and go toe to toe with, for me, the best team in the league, then it will do wonders for your confidence. Because if you can go and compete with a Leyton Orient, a well-coached team, and with good players, then hopefully that will breed confidence. But we also need to realise that it is a difficult game, a difficult place to go, and one that we need to give it all the respect it deserves, because it does merit it.
And we're a very good footballing side. There aren't too many footballing sides in the division, but Leyton Orient are one of those. But when two sides who do like to knock the ball around and keep possession, does that make for a more sort of open and a game that is quite hard to call?
It depends. I mean, like I said, it can be. I mean, it's pretty easy sometimes for people to kind of map out how games would go, whether it's two real direct teams and think, oh, it's all about second balls and it's all about competing. It can sometimes not be as clear cut as that when it's that type of like style of play, and it also may come down to the ones who compete the most when it's two teams that like to play the ball and like to pass the ball around the pitch and like to play the game in the right way. But like I said, I'll be hoping that all elements of our game is on point, because I think if we're lacking in any area, I think these are the type of teams that will punish you at home. So yeah, listen, I've clearly said, and out of all the footage I've watched of teams, they're the team that I've most enjoyed watching. Obviously, it's not as enjoyable when you know that you're going there with an under strength team, but at the same time, as a fan of football and well coached teams, it is certainly one that I've preferred watching some of their footage than other teams. Let's put it that way.
And obviously, with the injuries we've picked up of late, especially defensively, has there been a real focus on the defensive side of things? Maybe trying different things, different players in different positions potentially.
We actually haven't been able to, because we haven't had enough bodies, and we're not sure who's going to be fit. Don't really want to work on something that changes that. We then have to use a different formation. Thought that we'd maybe be getting a body through the door, which hasn't happened for one reason or another. So yeah, it's hard to prep when you're kind of unsure of the extent of some of the lads' injuries. I'd like to know, obviously, a lot quicker in the week where we're at, but we literally can't. And like I said, it's pointless working on the defensive aspect of the game with your defenders when you've got maybe one training.
And how frustrating is it when we've put a run together of 2 straight wins, we head into a big game like this in good mood, on good form, and then obviously injuries happen and you have no control over that. How frustrating is that as a manager? Yeah,
I mean, it is part and parcel of what you kind of sign up for, but at the same time, you do have a little look around and think, is there anything going to go our way at the minute? Like I said, we've had a setback with getting a body through the door this week. That hasn't happened, so that culminating with the fact that that's 2 games in a row now where you're picking up injuries to centre halves, pick up another injury in the week early to another defender who has been playing a lot. Now you're like, right, what backup have we got, and how fit are some? How much of a game can they play? Because as much as you want to go to Leyton Orient and give yourself the best chance, I also don't want setbacks with some of the players that have been out for a while, or I then don't want to be looking at more bodies out for next week. So it's something that we need to try and juggle, and we need to see what's the best for the group as a whole for the rest of the season, not just for this game at the weekend.
And whenever you come up against a side, especially against Leyton Orient, who are top of the table, are players more up for a game like this? Are they keener to sort of prove themselves? Is that something you've spoken to them about? Look, this is a real opportunity to really put yourselves out there and get a result here.
Well, it shouldn't be. Whoever the opposition is, the focus should be exactly the same. It's a game that you're representing your football club, and I mean, listen, we're all human. We know that Leyton Orient are one of the better teams, and obviously that can have an effect on some people's preparations at times, because they know that they're in for a bigger game. But like I said, for me, I'd be disappointed if there's a different level of focus or kind of preparation that goes into the fact that we're just playing the best team in the league. For me, it needs to be like that all the time. That's how we'll get our own standards up and our own habits that hopefully will be repeating themselves from a positive aspect. But yeah, like I said, we will be touching on things that maybe playing previous teams we haven't had to touch on as much, because like you said, they're a good footballing side, and so obviously covering that side will be important, seeing as we haven't really kind of faced a team that plays as well as them on the ball. Salford has had some decent periods and some footage that we showed the lads, but a lot of the other teams that we played are pretty direct. So we'll have to show them and make sure that they're prepared. But as I said, they should be prepared for every game.
All the best Saturday, Jody.
Cheers, pal.